Hey everybody, my name's Joe. I'm a full-time reseller out of Dallas, Texas, and today I'm going to walk you through just a typical day in the life of a full-time reseller. I've got an absolute ton of packages to drop off at the post office and FedEx and UPS today, but what I want to talk about today mostly is how I pay for packaging materials, or specifically how I don't pay for packaging materials. You see, I'm on track to do $100,000 in sales over that this year just on eBay, and I almost never pay for boxes. Now, I do pay for my bubble wrap. I spend a pretty good amount on bubble wrap, and I do buy envelopes, but I don't buy bubble mailers and I don't buy boxes. And that's where I think a lot of other resellers tend to actually waste a lot of money, because often I think, if I'm gonna be honest, I think some of the resellers out there are getting a little bit precious. They're acting like their packaging material needs to be perfect and they don't like to reuse used things. And I'm here today to talk about in my vlog why I think that's a bad idea. And if you're treating your reselling business like a real business, and I'm bringing in my experience from owning my past business, which was a restaurant. And in the restaurant industry, like a lot of businesses, it's all about the small margins. Your restaurants operate on very, very small margins. You have to think about things like how much does each napkin cost? How much does each straw cost? And the reselling business is really the same. When you are packing out and sending out so many packages per day, when you start to scale it up to a full-time level and it starts to become a real business, things that seem small differences in price can actually magnify to be huge and totally affect your bottom line at the end of the year. So with that said, today I'm going to be telling you guys how I save money in those little ways in order to pay the least amount possible for my packaging materials. And as a bonus, it also happens to be the most ecologically friendly way, the best way for the earth, because I'm basically just reusing boxes and bubble mailers that I can find around my area. I'll show you how I do it. Glad you're all with me today. So I think we all know that in order to be the best reseller possible, you gotta have your mind right. For me, that means getting exercise in on a daily basis. So before I head out to the Goodwill outlets today, I've got a few minutes of free time, so I'm going to do kettlebell swings, which for me, I think are just the absolute most efficient form of exercise. I mean, look it up if you don't believe me, but you're using so many of the major movers, like these huge muscle groups in your body. You're burning massive amounts of calories per minute. You're getting strength, you're getting a little bit of muscle endurance, and I think it's just excellent. I basically do kettlebell swings and running in the forest, and that's like my entire workout plan, but I'm getting pretty fit from it right now. So as long as it's still challenging for me, I'm gonna stick to it. I'm training to do a long distance run one day, maybe an ultra marathon, so that's my goal. Anyway, I'm gonna get 100 kettlebell swings in at 50 pounds, and then I'll be on my way. It should take me about 4 or 5 minutes. That's like one really good song. I'll take you with me. Let's do it. Just about to roll up to the Goodwill outlets about 5 minutes early, perfect timing. And I've got my Goodwill outlets supplies always stashed in the car. What I always have for Goodwill outlet is of course a mask these days, as well as a pair of gloves. A good pair of gloves is so important to the Goodwill outlets. I can't believe that I still see people going to the Goodwill outlets without gloves. I mean, we're digging through stuff that is often unsorted. I can tell that these are just plastic bags that were just dropped off at Goodwill that were never even gone through. So you have no idea what you're getting into at the Goodwill outlets, which is the best part, but you gotta glove up, man. You don't know what's in there. All right, we're rolling up now. Yes, all right, nobody in line. About 4 cars in the parking lot. Let's do this. So earlier I said that I hardly ever buy boxes for my reselling business, and that is true. So basically right now I'm going to demonstrate how I make my own boxes custom to the right size that I need for my different packages. So today I've got this lot of Lincoln logs. Now thankfully they're not very breakable. In fact, they're incredibly sturdy. So I'm gonna need very little bubble wrap. Basically I'm gonna show you my general technique for how to create a box. I'm gonna start right here on this beginning side, and I'm just gonna line up literally like I'm creating a burrito. So I wanna put my toppings here on one side, but not all the way over to the edges. I wanna leave a little bit of space here on this side, and a little bit of space over here on this side. So just kind of filling up this middle area with my items. I'm gonna work on my burrito fillings now, and kind of get them all wrapped up. I'm gonna put a little bit of plastic wrap around these plastic pieces just so they don't get smashed, and then wrap everything up together, and then stick it right in the middle of my cardboard tortilla. All right, so as you can see, I've taped together all those little baggies full of Lincoln logs, and now this all is just one piece, and I basically stuck it right here on the very end of this cardboard box. So what I'm gonna do next is I'm going to go right up against the very edge of the filling, and I'm going to make my first score. So I'm gonna take a pair of sharp scissors or a box scorer, and just basically run a line all the way right up against. And that is what I'm gonna use to make my first bend. So we're gonna roll this thing 3 times to make 4 sides. So this first one, boom, right here. All right, so we scored the first line, and as you can see, it now folds up on that first line that we made. And all of our fillings are fitting nicely right here. So then our next step would just be to score that second line. But luckily, this box naturally has a score right where I need it. So I've already got the next fold of the burrito already done. We only have one more left. This bottom part of the box here, that's gonna allow me to do one more roll, one more fold of this box. And we're gonna have 4 sides, and we can just cut it off, and it'll be a perfectly sized box. I'm just gonna make the final fold, which will complete this box shape of all 4 sides. I'm gonna do one more score with my scissors. But this time I'm just gonna cut along that score instead of folding. That's gonna make that 4th wall that will complete our box, and then I just gotta tape the 4 sides together. All right, yeah, now just the last step is to put it up on its side like this and to cut down each of the 4 corners so that you're creating flaps so they can fold down. So I'll show you what that looks like now. All right, so I basically taped it all up, and it is now a complete custom box. I had to trim a couple of the flaps at the very end because they were a little too long. Easy to trim when you have your scissors out. It took me a few minutes to explain, but in reality, this only takes me between 90 seconds and about 3 minutes to make a custom box like this. And I just keep all the cardboard that we get from package deliveries. My parents give me the cardboard that they receive as well because they know that I use it. Yeah, when you do the math, I mean, to buy a large box at Home Depot is often up to $5 or more. My time is definitely worth saving $5 if it only cost me 90 seconds to 3 minutes. If you do the math, even at 3 minutes, that is $5 times 20. That's like $100 an hour that I'm paying myself. Anyway, I think it's a good deal. I love making boxes. It's also good for the environment. That cardboard would have just been recycled. I don't recycle my cardboard. I actually reuse it. And I think that's a better use of it. I did mention there are 2 kinds of boxes that I do buy, and let me go grab those and I'll show them to you right now. So the 2 types of boxes that I do buy are these really small ones. These are, you actually get a credit every quarter, 4 times a year from eBay. You just have to go look it up and find your coupon code. They sell these small boxes because I do use so many of these small boxes. It does actually save me the time. I end up spending less than $1 per box. And for that math, I think with so many small breakable items, I love having boxes ready to go that I can just pop out in just a couple of seconds instead of spending a minute or 2 to go make a custom box. I also use it with my free shipping credit. You can get like 50 boxes for, I don't know, $50 or something like that. So I use my free shipping credit to get these boxes, and I love having them around. The other thing that I like to have around is these ultra long golf club shipping boxes. I ship a lot of golf clubs. I often don't have a piece of cardboard that's long enough to fit it in one piece, and that becomes a pain in the butt to try to combine multiple pieces of cardboard to make some long Franken box that ends up not being very stable. So I get these boxes. These are 48 inches long by 4 by 4, and they're great for super long things like baseball bats and especially golf clubs when often I don't have the cardboard on hand from just random deliveries that would actually be able to fit them in one piece. So those are the 2 boxes I like to buy, small ones and then the long ones because I often don't have cardboard that's long enough. All right, I showed a little footage of a car full of 3 IKEA bags plus a bunch of large boxes going out from this weekend. But since then, I've had 17 more orders. So I'm gonna show you a few of those, talk about what I got for them. Including in those 17 is that Lincoln Logs lot that I just showed you in my how to make a box. And that sold for $69.99 with free shipping. It costed me about $20 to ship. And I bought it at the Goodwill bins and it was about 10 pounds, which would have cost me about $7. So all in, I've paid $27 and I'm getting $69.99. And I sold those Lincoln Logs within a couple of days. I think that's definitely something worth talking about. Lincoln Logs are definitely worth buying at the outlet if you can get them for a good price. What else did I sell today? Oh, this was a fun one. This keyboard I got at the Goodwill outlet as well, but it was missing 1 key. So I took a chance on it. I bought it, I plugged it in and everything worked. So I just went online. This was a fairly popular keyboard. It's a Razer Black Widow. One of the reasons that I bought it is because it's a mechanical keyboard, and not just mechanical, it's got one of the high-end, well-known mechanical key switch types, which is a Cherry MX. And so one way you can know about as a reseller, you should know that if you ever see any kind of mechanical keyboard at a thrift store, it's probably worth buying because mechanical keyboards last for tens or hundreds of thousands of keystrokes, like much longer than you would typically use a keyboard. So they last for a long time and they hold their value. People love these. Now, one way you can find out is actually you can just pop these keys right off And you can see right there, there's a little plus sign, and that is what this key fits into. That's the key cap, and that plus sign fits right onto this plus right here. And you can actually tell the kind of key switch because this is literally the color brown, and the Cherry MX switches are always in that plus shape, and the brown ones are brown, obviously, and they just pop right on. You can just literally just push it right on. You just gotta line up the plus with the plus, boom, back on it. So anyway, because those do pop off, people do tend to lose the keycaps, but there are also usually replacements available on eBay. So I got a replacement keycap for about $5, and I bought the keyboard. I bet this weighs about 2 pounds, so I probably paid around $1.70 for it, and I sold it for $57.99 with free shipping. This would cost me around $10 to ship, but a huge profit once again. Anytime you see a keyboard at a thrift store, if the keycaps just pop off easily with a little bit of outward pressure and you can see that plus sign underneath, it's definitely a mechanical keyboard and it's worth purchasing. Oh, and speaking of keyboards, this was actually an experiment I wanted to try. I found another keyboard that was actually quite dirty on the inside, but not just that, but it was missing a key as well, as you can see. This one is the Cherry MX Red. I was missing one. I thought about ordering a replacement keycap, but instead what I decided to do was take the time to list each keycap, and I wanted to become the replacement keycap seller like I sometimes use on eBay. So instead of buying the replacement one, I made a listing with individual options, like the variables inside the listing, and I made an individual SKU for every single key that I did have except for the letter N, which I'm missing, and I've already sold 2 of them. I sold the letter S and the letter H. Somebody wanted to buy those for $6 each, so I'm only making $1 or $2 profit per keycap. So I'm gonna have to sell a lot of these keycaps to make it worth my time, but I thought I would try it out and experiment. In the end, you could make quite a bit of money. Maybe I should raise my price a little bit, see how much people are willing to pay for these keycaps. $6 free shipping, maybe $7 free shipping. That would double my profit personally. But in any case, replacement keycaps, I'm gonna ship those things out quickly, and hopefully someone else will be very happy that their keyboard is now complete. I sold 2 more of these replacement handsets without batteries. In fact, I just took the batteries out of these. They were standard rechargeable AAA batteries, which I needed personally for all of our toys for the kids. So I took the batteries out. I listed these 2 handsets on eBay, no batteries and no charger, just as a replacement handset alone, and they sold for $11 free shipping. And the same person bought 2 of these, so I get to save on shipping because they'll both fit in a first class bubble mailer, and I'll be able to spend about $4 shipping for both of these. And I sold them for $21.98 together because I sold them for $10.99 each, free shipping. So pretty good deal. I just bought these maybe a week ago at the Goodwill outlet, and they're already selling. So some of these phones I do tend to hold on to for a couple months, but some of them sell quick, and people do buy these because the handsets themselves go out, but they already have the rest of the system in their house. They just need one piece. So really that's a tip as well. I buy and sell a lot of these cordless phone handsets and chargers, and if you find some of these at Goodwill, even if you find an entire set, I would recommend splitting it up and listing each piece individually, because people don't want to buy a full set of a random model of cordless phone from the early 2000s, if you know what I mean. Like, they'll just buy a new phone set on Amazon, but what they will buy on eBay is a single piece that might replace a broken charger or a broken handset around their house, or if they want to add an additional thing. Anyway, split it up, list them individually for $10 to $15 each. You can just look at the sold comps as usual on eBay, and I'm making big profit on these things. I think it's definitely worth it. Sold this random reminder keychain thing, but this is just a good lesson to always scan anything that's new in package, because they're so easy to scan. Look for the UPC code. I scan it on both the eBay app and the Amazon seller app, both free apps on the iPhone, and I'll see if there's any sold comps, and if there are, I'll snatch it up. This I got at the Goodwill outlet, so I probably paid pennies for it, and I sold it for $9.99 with free shipping. I honestly don't even know what it is, but it's new in package and somebody's going to enjoy it. All right, last couple items I wanted to showcase here. This is a copy of Steins Gate Elite and Atari Flashback Classics. I just recently bought both of these games on a GameStop pre-owned games sale. I paid $15 each, and I'm selling them for $25 each with free shipping. I'm paying $4 shipping. I'm gonna pay a couple dollars in fees, about $4 each profit on these, and I'm flipping that money pretty quick. On Amazon, I sold another one of these Wii Fit balance boards. Again, like I said, I sell these all the time, pretty regularly. This one sold for $33 plus shipping. On Amazon, I do tend to charge for shipping because that is the standard model. All I gotta do is open up the back battery pack, make sure it has a battery cover. If it doesn't, I usually have replacements on hand. Check for corrosion in the battery compartment, and then I give it a quick wipe down with a magic eraser and some rubbing alcohol, and send it off to somebody wanting to get fit on their Wii. That's basically all the stuff I wanted to showcase from my sales for the last 24 hours. So I'm gonna get to packing this stuff, and I'll see you later.